Welcome, welcome, guys. So, have I got a treat for you today? I spent the past week or so
Jedi
grinding up Petunia to make her a master force wielder. So I wanted to go through and experiment with these force powers and things like that and see what kind of damage they do, what they work on, what they don't, what kind of you know, what points that these things would be advantageous to use. See if force choke's any good. I've never figured out Jedi mind trick yet. It would be interesting to poke around with it for a while. I'd like to mess around with the animal attack a little bit, and animal calm, and see if they work on this server. So let's get into it. See what we can figure out. Type and walk at the same time. I'm getting really good at that stuff. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, looks like I got one more buff to go. So presently, as it stands, Petunia has creature handler, defender, force armor, and master force welder. Oh, and 4004 lightsabers. All right, let's see what we can. See if we can get an altar or something on here. Somebody test this on, or should we just go test it out on Stormtroopers or somebody that's heavily armored like that? Sounds like a deal. I know some good spots for Stormtroopers. Well, I guess for the sake of weapons block, I'll just equip a saber. So here, in this spot, out back of the starport, there's a group of 3 Stormtroopers there. There's a group over here of Stormtroopers. I can go back and forth between them, and that way we don't have to wait for the respawns and stuff like that. Let's see what they got going on. So kinetic energy, blast, heat, electricity, stun cold, acid. And this big tall dude, he's got electricity resistance. So, let's see here. So the abilities I ended up with from Master Powers is the Force Weakens, Force Weaken 1 and 2, Force Knockdown 1, 2, and 3, Force Lightning Cone 1 and 2, Force Lightning 1 and 2, Intimidate 1 and 2, MindBlast 1 and 2, Force Throw 1 and 2, Animal Calm, Animal Scare. I don't have Animal Attack up here, but I got Force Choke. Maybe I should go ahead and see if I can find Animal Attack. Oh yeah, I do have Animal Attack. I think it's that one right there. Jedi Mind Trick. And Force Choke. I'll move these around a little bit and put I'll put all the animal stuff right here on the bottom. Alright. I don't know if I should put my baby. Yeah, we'll do that. So let's see what an Intimidate 1 does here. If this is a cone or what. I believe it's a cone. Okay, it didn't get the back guy. So I got these 2 are intimidated. So if we was to Force Lightning Cone 1 them, that's the Force Lightning Cone 1 animation. This is the Force Lightning Cone 2 animation. Well, if it animates. So it looks like 3 sweet. I sat there and took a lot of shots and stuff while I was doing that. Let's see here. I have to try to watch my force pull as I do these. So we'll see if we can watch the force pull this time and see how much. So I'm going from 48.60 to 46. It's a pretty significant cost. 45.07. 43.50. Yeah, that wears your force down pretty significantly. You have to be careful if you're spamming this all the time. Damage is really good. So it looks like force lightning is going to be electricity damage. $79.96 points of damage. $73.46. There's one for 10,764 points of damage in one shot. So, Force Lightning 2, well, the Force Lightning Cone 2 will actually hit between 6,000 and 12,000 damage. Like, I just now hit that guy for 1,932 points of damage. Or 10,932 points of damage. My apologies. Numbers are bigger than I'm used to. Alright. So, Force Lightning. The animations are definitely different between 1 and 2. So 1 seems to have 1 beam of lightning go out. And when I hit Force Lightning Cone 2, it's like 3 beams doing this dance that go out. Wonder if it's going to be the same with the single. There's single 1. What do you want? Come to bug me. Alright, see if we can find somebody else to attack here. So, from what I'm gathering, I noticed that those troopers, the large troopers with the fencer weapon, seem to die the slowest. This guy has a little bit of electricity resist, 30%. So, we can expect maybe 30% less. Let's use single on him a couple times. Even though he's 30% resist, I just done 9,937 in one shot to him. You could put people down pretty quick with just Force Lightning. Go in just a minute. Let me. This guy probably has no armor. Looks like. Yeah, he has no armor at all on. Let's see if we can hit him with one big hit here. See, I just hit this guy for 11,589 points of damage. He had no armor at all on. So it looks like the Force Lightning 2s, both the AoE and the single, will hit between 6 and 12,000 points of damage per shot. And that's a factor that goes in before your armor does. So if you have 30% resist on your armor or whatever. Let me see if I can do a whole group of these guys. Pull together a small mob or whatever. This is what the area is supposed to be for, I guess. Alright, there's a few of them. Pretty sure these guys got pretty significant. Nope, no electric resists. Wouldn't hurt me to turn my force armor back once so I don't end up dying in the process. Alright. That's interesting, but one thing I would have a complaint about with Force Lightning is look how heavily worn down my force pull is now. So this isn't like something you wouldn't want to just go around spamming, I guess, because it's got a pretty significantly heavy force cost. But the occasional use and stuff like that, a 6,000 to 12,000 point electricity hit is pretty significant. That's a heavy damage hit. So move on to, let's see. We're going to have to try out this MindBlast a little bit. See how it works. Alright, the guy in the back actually died first this time, instead of being the last guy that died. Alright. Let's figure that out for a minute. His blast damage is 20% resist. Now this attack, MindBlast, actually does use blast damage. And the little Stormtroopers have a blast of 40%. So that would explain why the little Stormtroopers outlasted the big Stormtrooper. So there's two big Stormtroopers here and one little Stormtrooper. So I'm using MindBlast 2, which is an AoE. $13.82. Let's see if we can figure out some of the cost. So I've seen 1040 there. 880. 715. Alright. So this actually looks to be 880, 715, probably 150 force, something like that per cast. So on MindBlast on Sentinels Republic, it would appear that MindBlast is actually a mind attack. Let's see what MindBlast 1 does. 1436, 1359, 1108, 1956, 2020, 2847, 2478, 1848. Interesting. So this does definitely less, MindBlast does definitely less damage than Force Lightning did. It's eating Force pretty hard. Let me take a look here. So, Force Lightning Tree was all electricity. It's electricity damage. MindBlast is actually blast damage. See, the description here says it allows the Jedi to project a wave of mental intrusion, dealing damage to a random pull on the target. That's not actually what I've been seeing, though. Affected, stunned, or dizzy. I haven't actually noticed that yet. Anyway, it may be. Maybe there is a stun or dizzy in there. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get just one of these guys. I'm gonna end up pulling them both, I know. Yep. So, let's see if we can get a dizzy or a stun. Well, yeah, there it is. So the AoE, MindBlast 2, hits for more points. There's 3390 and 3597. I might have to finish these guys off with a saber. A decent saber. Alright, so from 1800 to 3300. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to have to See if I can help out a little bit with this. Yeah, I think it won't be a problem. Which way do I go? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Fire Snake and equip him with Transfer Force. And transfer a bunch of force back into Petunia for the testing. So what do you guys think so far? It looks like the MindBlast is blast damage. And I noticed that the Stormtroopers that had blast resist armor, more blast resist armor, died later. And it's doing something that looks like, I'm guessing it's going to be 2,000 to 4,000 damage for the MindBlast with the area effect on the MindBlast 2. It's going to be 2,000 to 4,000 damage roughly is what I'm seeing. And the MindBlast 1, maybe it's 1,000 to 2,000 or something like that. It's less. So I didn't have Channel Force and Transfer Force on Fire Snake, actually, because he's got all his regen tapes. This guy. Alright. See, it's called Force Synergy. Learn that stuff up real quick. Now I wonder if there would be a problem with me transferring force to her because she's combatant. I really don't know. Guess I'll find out. Okay. Well, let's give this a shot and see what happens. Hopefully I can transfer force to her. Oh, it's not going to let me. So what do I got to do here? Oh well, it's worth a shot. So, what skills do we have left to test? Before, when we intimidated one, we only got 2 of these guys. We didn't get all 3. Let's see if I can intimidate 2. Still, that guy right there is hard to intimidate. He's just not intimidate wanting at all. This BCP, I'm like spamming intimidate 1 on him, and he's not intimidating. I don't know what the deal is with that. I guess he's got resist intimidate. Alright. Which skill we want to try out next? Let's force choke this dude. Well, if I can get up. Alright, is that force choke? It's actually taking off the health pool. Alright, dang. Alright, force choke is looking pretty, let's see how it works on one of these guys. Alright, so my force pool is 3908. And now my force pool is 35, 3162, 27, holy moly. Alright, force choke is so heavily, and I only got this guy down to half health. This is definitely not good. Force choke looks almost unusable simply because of its extreme force cost. Alright, now we got 1 Stormtrooper here and I'm about to die from a bleed. Let's try force throw 1 and 2. Oh wow, look at that. Force throw 2163, 2102, 2070, 2031. Alright, it looks like, I don't know who's going to win here. I'm just going to zap him down. It looks like force throw 2 appears to be lightsaber damage. I'm going to say it's lightsaber damage. I'll have to test and look a little bit more. Yeah, I just zapped the guy right here just to end it because I was about to die myself. I had a bleed on. It looks like I was hitting this guy. For $5.99 and $5.84. Wait a minute. What in the world went on here? Maybe that was my saber. Alright, so I'm looking at the data here. He used force throw to throw many pieces of junk at a guy for 1,100 points of damage. 2,200 points of damage here. 2,094 points of damage. Alright, 2,376. So, what would you say the top is on that? Maybe 2,500 points? I'll have to use it a few more times to make sure. I don't want to pull a whole big mob. So Force Throw 2 and Force Throw 1 appear to be lightsaber damage. So when it's actually probably the most effective damage on the game, but the damage is the lowest. So I'm betting Force Throw 1 and 2 will work even on people who's wearing the craziest composite armor ever. They'll still take significant chunks out of people. But they're not an AoE. MindBlast was an AoE, and MindBlast has a lot of advantage too. I'd say MindBlast could even be used really well in PvP, because for the most part in this game, when you're PvPing, the only thing that you're actually focusing on is people's mind pools. Everybody stacks their health and everything up so high, so everybody always, PvP wise, you always kind of target the mind pool. So here we go. Force Throw 1. I'm going to hit it a couple times. It looks like it's doing... Oops. Wrong click there. 824, 852, 984, 1146, 740. 728. There's a 12, 18. I guess we're... $870. So it looks like... I'm going to say between 625 and 1250, somewhere in that range. MindBlast 1, let's see, Force Throw 1 is. So let's see where Force Throw 2 goes. So say 1250 damage is the max on Force Throw 1. Force Throw 2, I hit for 1580. 1908. And I killed him pretty quick. It's probably going to be a quicker kill. These guys are soft anyway. 1184. 2508. So I'd say it's above 2500 then. I don't know if I can pull one Stormtrooper when I walk in here. Alright, let's throw a few on him now. 1902, 2364, 1128. So if it goes down to 1128, it's probably going to be like 1,000 to... It's kind of really widespread. 35. Did I just hit him for 3504? Alright, this has a crazy widespread, guys. I just hit this guy for 3,504 points of damage. And the bottom, I mean, 1,500, there's an 1128. So what would you say this is? Like 1,000 to 4,000 random? And you know what's kind of cool? If you notice my force pull, all the other abilities that I've been using with choke and force lightning and all these These abilities actually drained my force pull completely off just in this demo. But the force throw, you know, I'm actually maintaining force. I hit him for 3390 just now, I think. 3840. You can see the numbers right above his head right here. 1916. Now this ability doesn't target the mind at all. It actually looks like it hits the health and the action pool and leaves the mind pool completely untouched. It actually casts at a relatively high rate. Probably not quite as fast as the Master Saber swinging the saber. But then again, I could be out 32 meters away doing this and chopping on somebody or whatever. This is effectively lightsaber damage. It looks like it hits both pools at the same time together. Like both pools are moving down together all the time. Very low force cost. Very low force cost. Very efficient attack. Hey, I'm actually digging force throw too. I'll be able to use that and spam it for quite some time if that's actually lightsaber damage, which I do believe it is. We'll have to test that here in a little bit. I have an alt I can bring on. There is no AoE with Force Throw 2. Well, let me test that to make sure. We'll go over and attack a group of 3 and see if any of them take damage other than the one I'm attacking. So I'm going to attack this KP here. No, he's the only one taking damage. There's no cone damage. There's no AoE damage or nothing. So Force Throw 2 is a single target. Single target lightsaber damage that hits 2 pools simultaneously. For a very wide, there's a 3576 points of damage, 1700 points of damage. Very wide group of span of damage. It's not like Force Lightning and stuff where you get a really consistent damage every time. So Force Throw also comes with a bonus of Force Knockdown. This is Force Knockdown 2. Check that out. I can put him on his butt from a long distance away. Of course, he has no dizzy. How do I do this mechanically? What if I Mind Blasted him, put the dizzy on him like that, and then hit him with the knockdown? Of course, ooh, what? Do you see that? Force Knockdown 3 looks like an area cone knockdown. Alright, so it looks like if you wanted to, MindBlast 2 gives a dizzy, and then you have Force Knockdown, So you could actually dizzy and knock down somebody from quite a distance. It's eating up my force. Let's see what the knockdowns do. Try to pull one Stormtrooper here. I'm going to hit him with a MindBlast 2 and dizzy him. It looks like I have to be at 32 meters. Yep, there's his dizzy. I'm going to hit him with a knockdown. He should be dizzy knockdown now, and I could just toast him on the ground or something. So there's an interesting combination. That would be good for even PvP. So I come into 32 meters. MindBlast 2. Force knockdown 2. On his back he goes. And then use your weapon of choice. Of course the NPCs seem to get up a little quick. Might as well be taking the credits from these Stormtroopers I kill. Alright. Can I kill this last guy with, say, 200 force? Let's see what happens here. If I use just Force Throw 2 because of its low force cost. I can just about rebuild force almost fast enough. Oh, I'm getting down low. Alright. Well, I tell you what, I actually really dig the Force Throw 2 just because it's so low cost on the Force Pull. I could spam this thing all day long and not have to worry about my Force Pull draining off. It's lightsaber damage, which is the best damage kind there is, and it hits 2 pulls at the same time. There are some advantages to that. There's some good advantages. The one thing I wouldn't like about it, I'd say, is that it has no AoE. There's no group killing or anything going on there. I guess I could do some testing on so Force Choke is also apparently lightsaber damage, and it drains your force pool like a madman. Like, you would have to be crazy to use it. And it hits the health and action pools a lot like, I think Force Choke is an upgraded version of Force Throw, effectively. But it drains your force pool like absolute crazy. So the ones I've got left I'm wondering about are the Jedi Mind Trick, Animal Attack, Animal Scare, an animal calm. So let me see if I got a pet here. Fire snake has no pets. I'm petless. Can you believe it? Ramen noodles. That's the health food of champions, isn't it? It's supposed to have 0 health benefit at all to eat. Has an idea for a test. It looks like he's back in town. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try dueling another creature handler, which is what it looks like Jedi Mind Trick does to me. I don't know how you guys see that. Somehow they got a door guard. Switch to a good saber. Alright. Well, I'm not going in the building on my nerf, I guess. You know, while I'm at it, I can have Fire Snake recharge me if I'm on leave. So, let me hit this recruiter up. Okay. Now, if I'm reading this right, this says Jedi Mind Trick. It says, allows the Jedi to project his or her consciousness into a weak-minded. This will affect NPCs, creatures that are currently under control of another player, causing them to forget their masters and turn rogue. So, what I'm thinking I'm going to try, Jedi Mind Trick seems a little weird. I'm going to try dueling one of my alts. Okay. I'm going to try throwing a Jedi Mind Trick on the pet, just... Okay, I don't know if it makes any difference like that. Let's try it like this. You successfully use force power to trick your target. He's sitting there with a question mark over his head. Does that mean I can't use him to attack now? I'll check that out. It might have worked. He don't have the question mark over his head no more. Let's see. If I picked a... pretty sure he's all tamed up, yep. So I'm actually going to try attacking with him. Oh no! I think I accidentally killed him. He probably didn't have much health to start with. Okay. Okay, let's see, let's try. Okay, he's full health spider with 10,000 hit points, strong poison, and all that good stuff. So here we go. Let's see what we can do here. So, Big Pet would be attacking me. It says I successfully used a Alright. Alright, so maybe the creature, none of the creature ones actually seemingly work. I can't stop the pet from attacking me with calm. I tried to animal scare, it didn't run away. I tried to animal attack. While it done something, I wasn't able to get the animal to attack Swiss. And Jedi Mind Trick puts question marks over their head, and I think that's the extent of what it does. It doesn't look like any of the pet things actually work when which is kind of a bummer. They come with the MindBlast line. I need to refuel Petunia's force pool. Let me go ahead and end duel with Swiss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Fire Snake up. He should be able to fill Petunia's force pool back up. So I can already tell you right now, if you're going to mess around with the force powers as a Jedi at all, you're going to be crazy to do it without Channel Force or Meditate. Under Enhancer, you're going to have some way to rebuild your force pool, because this is a pretty intense, the amount of force it uses. So Fire Snake has Force Defense, the first line of Force Defense. He's got Force Armor and Healing, heals all states self and all that. And he's got some Force Powers. He's got Force Intimidate and Force Weaken. And then Master Lightsaber. Maybe I should give him a shot or two and see what how he takes just 1 or 2 shots of Force Lightning and things like that. Being a Wook, I think he has like 1,200, 1,300 hit points or something. So he's got 1,250 hit points. So Force Lightning single 2 nuked him. I don't know if I had Force Armor on. No, I didn't have Force Armor, nothing on. So let me try Synth Stake and Force Armor and all that and see if it helps. All right. Yep. All right. I'd also be curious too, would Force Intimidate weaken the blows from Force Powers? Like if I Force Intimidated Petunia, could Petunia then hit me with only half damage of the Force Lightning? There's some things to test here. I might have to go get him buffed. I'll run up to Creatine real quick and get a quick buff. Alright, so let's see here. So you basically got to watch dancers and stuff for 3 minutes. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So when 2 minutes and 30 seconds rolls back around, his buff will be done. I'm going to let's tab over to her and see where are we going. I guess I could head on up to Crate's End with her, so I don't have to bring him back here. A lot of people in this game on this server actually play Master Defenders because Master Defenders are really tough on Sentinels Republic. I guess I'll just have her wait outside here. Use it 30 seconds. So, Fire Snake's not a Master Defender. He does have a little bit of melee defense under enhanced reflexes, and a lot of melee defense under Defender. And it comes with the melee damage mitigation 1. This may or may not exist on your server. The melee damage mitigation 1 does 20%. Basically cancels out 20% of all incoming damage that's done through melee damage. And I got Force Armor 2 and Force Absorb. That's interesting. That would be interesting to test right there. Force Feedback and Force Absorb with Force Powers. We'll test that too real quick. I want to see what happens if I get Force Lightninged. And I have Force Feedback or Force Absorb turned on. So yes, Force Intimidate 2, Force Weaken 2, and Master Lightsabers. This will be the guy we'll be testing. She's close enough. I don't need a... Well, I got full buffs anyway. Dropped off just a tad early and still ended up with full buffs. Okay. Ahsoka actually has a Master Doctor that has Force powers. He has Force Healing, and he takes and zaps you with his Force Healing ability and cleans up all your wounds, and then gives you a Doctor's buff right after. It's really cool. So if you get a Doctor's buff from him out of the base here, you'll come out with 0 wounds and 0 battle fatigue and everything. Cleans you right up. And it gives you crazy high buffs. Really nice buffs. Looks like he may have run out of Bavoli today. You adjust your outfit for you to make it fit properly. Alright. Testing Force powers. Force absorb and force feedback. Force armor. Go with our force shield up here too and experiment with it. Alright, I think I'm fully buffed. Alright, there's Petunia. So, I'm going to do this first with just force armor on. And we'll see how it goes. Holy moly. Yeah, you could kill somebody with this. Dang, that was just 3 hits. Get him healed up again. I'm curious if Force Shield would improve the situation. They look a little smaller. I guess it did seem a little smaller, but not a lot. Almost like Force Shield 1 just really wasn't even... It was there, but maybe 10% reduction or something like that. Alright, I'm burning some force real quick. I'm actually going to cause myself to have a little bit of a force deficit, because the next ability I'm wanting to poke around with a little bit is Force Absorb. So I need to have a little bit of a deficit at the very least. Wait a minute. Ouch. The Force Absorb actually reduced the damage. I wasn't expecting that. Alright, so I'm going to turn Force Absorb off and turn Force Shield off. I'm going to turn on Force Feedback. Holy crap, it damages me as well. Causing you to be injured for 2,069 points, and causing me to be injured for 2,261 points. So I hit Fire Snake with 2857, and 2261 was reflected back to me. And here it says I hit Fire Snake with 2614, and 2069 was reflected back to me. So it looks like 3/4 of the damage, or maybe 80% of the damage, is reflected back. Alright. Let's see if it does it with MindBlast. Alright. Yep, that's reflecting damage back. Alright, so it's 80% because 1,013 points of damage was done to Fire Snake and 800 damage was done to me. Alright, so you can tell when the force feedback wears off. Alright. Well, that's interesting. Because for Force Throw 2, the damage ratio is less. So the others were 80%. On Force Throw 2, I've got 934 damage to Fire Snake, 369 to myself. 976 to Fire Snake, 386 to myself. 974, 385. So what is that, 40%? So it's half. So Force Throw 2 does half the reflected damage if somebody turns Force Feedback 2 on. So instead of 80% damage, I'm only getting 40% of the return damage for somebody that uses. Alright. Let's try choke on him. So here we go with force choke. Let's see how it. My goodness, look at the cycle time. I'm only doing 340 damage to him at a time with his force armor on. I wonder if the force armor is actually contributing to that. 344 damage. Let me turn force armor off. I want to see if that's contributing. So I'm basically doing, I did 322, 328, 340, 326, and 345 to Fire Snake with force choke. So that's pretty in there. Let's see if it goes up with no force armor. 320, 347, 316. Actually, force armor doesn't make any difference at all. I will not likely kill him before I literally run out of force, though. Look at how quick it's draining my force pool. That is ridiculous right there. That is unbelievable. Like, I wouldn't be able to even take him to the ground with an entire full force pool. I would run out of force. And I just did. Alright. So, because Fire Snake's a good sport, he's going to transfer some force back over. Alright, so it looks like force choke works. Force choke seems to target the health pool only. And it only does 300 damage or so to a player. So I'm going to do one more test on Fire Snake. What I'm going to do is just enable all the enhancer abilities. He's going to have force. He's going to have force shield on, force absorb on, force feedback, and everything, as though he's going to PvP. And then force armor, everything. Maybe I'll give him synth stake too. We'll go ahead and stack a synth stake in there, and I'm going to hit him with just one or two of each of the abilities just to see how they play out. So if I was facing the dude in potential PvP, he would definitely have force armor on, synth stake. I'll throw Piccata Pie in there just for the fun of it, to be stupid. I don't think Piccata Pie does anything at all to force powers, but we'll see if we start messing like crazy now. Alright, here we go. Okay, hit him with Force Lightning. I've done 1,058 damage to him. 778 damage. And I'm taking significant damage myself. I could actually kill myself on this. Alright, that's force feedback 2 that just incapped me. And it incapped me before it incapped him this time. Fire Snake can probably get me up. He's got a bit of healer in him. Alright. So I'm leaving Force Shield on. Maybe I'll throw Force Absorb on. It only lasts a minute as well. Alright. Oh, yep. There's one other thing I wanted to test. I wanted to test that I'm going to hit Petunia with Force Intimidate. Let's see if it lowers her Force Lightning. And it did. Yep. So Force Intimidate actually works against Force Powers as well. Force Lightning and stuff. Cuts the damage in half. Hello.
Hey, what are you doing,
Um, experimenting online. Let me call you back in a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Alright. Bye-bye. Alright. Okay, so MindBlast 2 is also reduced in half. 262 damage. It looks like 295 damage for the first one. And out 226 damage. What about Force Throw? Yep. Alright, so everything... Force Intimidate reduces the damage of everything by half. Doesn't matter in Force Powers. Let me test Force Choke too, I guess. I haven't tested it. Stick another Intimidate on her. Alright, let's see. Force Choke was doing about 300 and something before. They're at down an 88 points of damage. I think this is about to be really sad. $89 points of damage. $93 points of damage. This is awful. Alright. On my personal opinion, I think Force Choke is overrated and ridiculously expensive. That's the bigger part of what's wrong with Force Choke, is that if I was to actually use Force Choke as an attack on a player, I would literally run out of force before I could put them on the ground. So, it hits the health pool. It hits the health pool with lightsaber damage and very, very weak lightsaber damage at that. Alright. So, what's he got going on for him still? Alright, so he's got his sense stake on, his force armor, and combat agility. Now, hold on a minute. That sense stake, is that sense stake not wearing down with force attacks? I'm going to hit him with something. I'm going to hit him with Force Throw 1 a whole bunch of times and see if I can wear that sense stake off. I'm curious, though. Because, oh no, there it went. Okay, yep, synth. It just took a little longer. Alright. So Force Powers works, can wear sense stake off. So what else? You guys interested in seeing how Force Powers works against armor? Alright. I have an alt. Transferring force. So I'm going to try one more test real quick. We'll poke around. This particular alt has a composite mini suit on. And maybe that'll be an interesting test. See how Force Powers works against the composite mini suit. So, what have I figured out so far? If a person turns on force feedback, the person with force powers would be wise to start using force throw 2, as the reflected damage is only half of what the reflected damage would be with force lightning and MindBlast. So there is a little bit of a counter to the force feedback too. I should be able to just do 1 minute worth of mind buffs here. Shouldn't need to, you know, I don't need 3 hours worth of buffs or nothing at the moment. So I'll let this go to about a minute or so. There we go. There we go. I managed to come out with a 1 hour of buff, mind buff. All right. Okay. So I had some troubles with the buff earlier. I couldn't figure out what the deal was, but I rolled up with Nightshade, and he was riding the Bolitar. He was on a creature pet, and apparently doctors can't target, or doctors can't buff a person who's on their creature pet. But when I got off my creature pet, I got, you know, the remaining buffs. So I didn't know that was actually an issue. But if you're mounted and you're on top of your creature pet, you can't get buffed. I don't know what the deal is. I basically just discovered it though. So it looks like the armor that I have is in reasonably decent condition. And it has 85% kinetic energy. The electricity is 65% resist. And the blast damage is 72% resist. So blast damage is going to be from MindBlast. We'll see how it does with that. And the electricity at 65% is going to be for force lightning. And there is no lightsaber resist in it, so that actually, for force throw, chances are force throw, the armor is going to do nothing for it. Maybe force choke also, if I was to guess. So we'll poke around with this once and see what happens. See if force lightning is effective at all against people wearing body armor. The best, yeah, I got a comp mini suit, so it's probably the best in the game for a mini suit anyway. Alright. Okay, she's got a gun. Here we go. We'll just use the, let's see. $22.80, $21.67, $27.71, $22.60. Let's see what it says that happened on this end. Your composite armor prevented 1,801 points of damage. Your composite armor prevented 1,469 points of damage. So, force lightning Composite armor actually does stop force lightning pretty well. $21.41. Yeah, I could probably still bring a person down with force lightning if they're wearing composite armor. But you can definitely tell they're wearing composite armor. Let me try it on her once or twice without any armor. Just make sure it ain't her toughness or anything. Okay. Okay, so the padded armor belt has no armor rating or nothing. Shit. Alright, she's about healed up. Okay, now she has no body armor on. We'll compare these numbers. This damage to the previous damage where she had the comp mini suit on. Oh yeah, that's a huge difference. Oh yeah. So yeah, the composite armor pretty well. Get her to peace and sit. So composite armor is force power proof, or just about. Definitely reduces it noticeably. Electricity went down. It was probably a good 65%. That's about right. So MindBlast is probably going to be pretty ineffective. Let's go ahead and give that one a shot. So here's MindBlast 2. Yeah, I'd actually still, I could still probably incap her with that. Do a few MindBlast ones and see what they do. Well, I guess MindBlast 1 and 2 hit so hard that it still actually... And see, here's the thing. As a composite armor wearer, there's nothing that Petunia can do about that MindBlast damage. She can't stim pack that. She can't heal it. So in PvP, she'd be pretty up the creek. Because the stim packs will only heal health and action. They won't heal mind. So with composite, it did reduce the damage. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to hit Nightshade once or something. I'm probably only going to hit her once because MindBlast does a lot of damage. I'll let her mind go back up, and then I'll hit her once with without the composite. So MindBlast actually has a really good potential, in my opinion, for being used for PvP. If you want to hit people from a range 32 meters away, something like that, and hit them with something that's damaging. In PvP, people will stack up to, it wouldn't be unusual to see somebody with 7,000 hit points, and they'll have a ton of health regen and everything else, and for the most part, their health bar isn't going anywhere. It will regen as fast as you can knock it down. So everybody kind of focuses on mind attacks, because the mind is easily the weakest bar. It has the weakest substats and everything else. So here we go. Let's take a look and see what this will do. Heck yeah, I could actually take her down in just a few hits. Actually, I did. I just blew her away. That last one hit really hard. Yep. Last one hit. I hit her for 904 and then 498 and then 1165, which incapped her. Alright, so the armor does make a difference. Pretty significant difference. Let's see if it does for force throws. Thought I had. Look in here. I thought I had. She doesn't have a backpack on. Well. Alright. So we know that force throw only attacks. Let me see what it does on her. I'm going to hit her, say, 3 times with no armor on. Then we'll put the armor on and see if it makes any difference. So, force throw 2. Here we go. Pretty significant chunks of health going down. Okay. So we'll stop right there and have her put the armor on. Now, if my theory was right, and this is actually lightsaber, putting this armor on ain't going to make any difference. I'll still be able to take her down at the same rate, whether she's wearing composite or not. Alright, she's all composited up. Let's see what happens here. She's still going down pretty hard, even with the composite. Alright, so yep, force throw is definitely lightsaber damage. Next hit would be just an incap, so not wanting to kill my test dummy. Alright, so I would say personally that force throw is also worthy of PvP, and I would give it that because of its force feedback to the way it reacts with force feedback to the extremely low force cost that it has, so you can actually spam the crap out of force throw 2 and not run your force pull down much. And the fact that it does lightsaber damage and it goes around, it completely goes around composite armor and things like that. So for the combat medics who wear composite armor and do all that crap, force throw 2 is coming for you. Alright. And the last test. The last test is Nightshade has 4,000, 40. She's got 4,040 hit points, right? So let's see what Force Weaken does to her. Let's watch that. So it dropped to 3901. 3842. 3765. 3697. Okay, she's holding at 3697. So for 4,000, she lost only 400 or so points. So 10%, she's 10% weaker than she was. So Force Weaken 2 will drop the ham. You know, the Mind Pool's super weak now, though. It was 1,800 and something. It's now 1,498. 10%. 10% is 10%, though, I guess, right? If a guy's really tough and you're having trouble with him, Force Weaken 2 can make them a bit softer. Let's see how long that lasts. Now it's going back up now. 3769. 3848. So it went down and it held for what, 30 seconds or something like that. You'll have to go back and look on the video. Okay, there's the 40. And 1850 was the Mind. Mind went down to 14.5. So it dropped it took a pretty significant chunk off the Mind. So let's just see what Force Weaken 1 does, just for the fun of it. Alright, looks like 3801 to be 200 hit points or a little bit more. Looks like it's going to be a 5% weaken. So I'm wondering if it does any of the substats. Let's look at the weakened character here. Let's see if the substats weaken as well. I see substats counting. This time I'm going to shoot her and tab over. I'm going to shoot her with Force Weaken 2. I'm going to tab over to Nightshade and watch the stats on the stats bar. I'm going to see all the stats, if you know what's going down or whatever. Okay. 3963. Yep, every one of the stats, all of them are dropping. This is actually worth using. This will get your focus, their focus and willpower down so low that, I mean, 1100 focus and 1100 willpower. Yeah, that would be dangerously low. I can two-shot her with MindBlast now. So, what I've concluded is that the Force Lightnings, they have a really nice cone. It's a big wide area cone in front of us. Does lots of damage. It'd be really great for an AoE PvE. It would be really great. So if you're just doing missions, it'd be really great. You can actually grind Jedi without a lightsaber if you used Force Lightning. That the damage is so high on Force Lightning singles, Force Lightning cones and stuff like that, you can go out and kill creatures in the land and grind your Jedi with just Force Lightning. Though you will have problems with Force, and you'll have to focus a little on that and work that out. Maybe have another Jedi follow you and channel Force into you, or maybe you'll get Force Meditate and channel Force, and that will make up for it. You can channel Force while you're using your Force Lightning and grind your Jedi without having to wear out any crystals or anything. Force Lightning and stuff works without no saber in your hand. See what? Take the saber completely out of her hand. She's got nothing equipped. And she holds her hand up like Yoda and zaps Force Lightning out of it. Force Lightning single is a single lightning beam. Force Lightning single 1 and Force Lightning single 2 is 3 or 4 controlled beams going in a swirl. Yeah. Yep, so I think there's place for Force powers. You know, I would actually see a lot of the benefit to the Force powers as and with hybrids. So if I had a hybrid, you know, like a Jedi skills mixed with like Pistolier or something. Pistolier has no Intimidate. Pistolier has no knockdown unless you're right up on top of them. Then you're kind of in trouble if you're a Pistolier. It has no Dizzy, but I could integrate, you know, MindBlast, get my Dizzy, and Force Knockdown into a Pistolier maybe, and have, you know, at a distance I can knock you down and Dizzy you, and have you on the ground flopping while I shoot the crap out of you with the pistol. And you know, when a character is laying on their back like that, they don't have any block or dodge. So a Pistolier could actually become very effective that way. A lot of these skills would integrate well with the Bounty Hunter. I mean, I could see a Bounty Hunter using MindBlast too, and run it up to targets before they even know that they're being attacked, and hack half of somebody's mind clean off before they even realize they're being attacked, or maybe even incapping them. To me, it seems like Force Lightning, because of the Composite Armor and feedback and things like this, is going to be primarily PvE. Although the damage is so high, it does 6,000 to 12,000 damage. You could probably make that work in PvP. I think the Force Intimidate 2 and the Force Weaken 2 are worth having. Especially, you know, you get enemies that are tough. If I'm Cret Dragon hunting and we pull 6 Cret Dragons or something like that, I can see where Force Intimidate 2 with that AoE, it does a 16 meter radius AoE Intimidate of everything in the area. you can intimidate all those dragons all at once and probably be just fine. Force Weaken will help with things that are really difficult, but it looks like it only reduces 10% of the health, or maybe only so many points. It might be a point thing. You know what? We need to test that really quick. Let me put Nightshade down here. Deathblower. And I want to have her come back with whatever health she normally has. And then I'm going to hit her with Force. Let's see here. Okay, she'll be unbuffed when she comes back. Ooh, I lost 200,000 Jedi XP. That sucks. Alright. I wonder if I should clean these wounds up first. I probably, really quickly, I'll go ahead and do that. Take just a second. Oh, no. Alright. Nightshade is woundless. It should be good to go. Okay. Now let's see. Before, whenever we did Force Weaken, she was fully buffed, had 4,040 hit points, and she went down to 3,600. So let's see if it's a percentage or if it's just a points thing. So I'm going to hit Force Weaken 2 on her. I'll tab over. Alright, so it's not a percentage. The Nightshade just got hit, and she's down to 255. If you catch somebody unbuffed and you hit them with Force Weaken, they are toast. Wow. Yeah, if you hit somebody with Force Weaken, as a bounty hunter, if you went after a Jedi and you caught them unbuffed and you hit them with Force Weaken, they are screwed. It doesn't matter what you do to them at that point. Oh boy. There's an interesting combination. Catch people unbuffed anyway. Alright. So that kind of concludes my testing of Master Force Wielder. Looks like the Force Lightning side is electricity damage. Animal attacks and the animal creature things just don't work. Animal scare and stuff, Jedi mind trick and all that just doesn't work. It's all creature things. MindBlast hits the mind for blast damage, and it does a lot. It's definitely worth having. Force Weaken drops the health, actually drops all the stats by about 400. Force Intimidate 2 is an AoE, 16 meter radius Intimidate. If you like to intimidate an entire mob, say you're doing a squill nest or something like that, you can intimidate every squill at that nest all at the same time. Force Throw is Jedi damage. Force Knockdown, it's a knockdown. What can I say? So if your character doesn't have knockdown, let's say you do a Master Swordsman or something like that, or do a Jedi hybrid Master Swords, right there's your knockdown, buddy. And Force Choke is basically suicide. So I hate to describe it that way, but if you actually try to take somebody down or something down with Force Choke, you will basically commit suicide. You'll burn more force than you are doing damage, and you'll run out of force before you actually incap somebody or something with Force Choke. You're basically running your force pool dry. If you want the fastest way in the game to run your force pool to 0, Force Choke somebody. You'll be out of force before you know it. So, looks like Force Armor does work against Force Powers. Force Feedback is devastating against Force Powers, except for Force Throw 2. If somebody turns on Force Feedback 2, Force Throw 2 only takes 40% of the reflected damage instead of 80% that you would have got from MindBlast or Force Lightning Cone. So that concludes the tests, and I don't know if any of this information will be useful to people. I'm going to put it out there, and we'll see. We'll see if anybody else is interested in learning about it or whatever else, or has more input. If you have more input on these abilities or something like that, leave it down in the chat below. And hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate your guys' time. Take care.